Yo, how's it going, everybody? We're here for another video. Me and my good buddy Brown talking about our first Dynasty Rookie Draft. It just ended, I think, a few days ago. So, pretty fresh. We're going to go over some things. I kind of was saying, let's pick some guy, one or two guys, and we'll talk about them. But we normally never follow any kind of schedule, so that didn't stick. If you happen to like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, not this time, drugs and intoxication.
Not this time. You don't get to play again.
There may be a little bit of profanity though, so that might be
That's okay.
that might be one I'll throw up here. Oh no, significant profanity. We're not gonna be that
Nah,
crazy.
we're gonna bleep it out. We're
This
fine.
isn't me solo playing a video game, so I think we'll be alright.
Yeah.
But
Also,
yeah,
may the fourth be with you all.
hell
On
yeah.
this
Well, is
Sunday.
it still? Is it the? Oh, it's the fourth. Right, yeah, it's almost over though, for us.
Yeah. Watched a little Bad Batch. I was getting to the last couple episodes there of the series. That's how I spent my uh Star Wars evening before we got on here. But I really wanted to go. They had a 25th anniversary movie theater presentation of the Phantom Menace,
I
and
heard
I did
about
not know about
that.
it. And I was really pissed I didn't get tickets to go see it.
Yeah, I heard
But
about that. That would have been cool.
yeah, so hey man, that's
Bad
how good
Batch
America.
though. I've seen like one or two episodes of that, but I haven't actually watched the full thing. I was just
It's
started
good.
to get on like of course I watched all the movies probably like a dozen times a piece, but some of the animated ones I haven't finished yet. Like the Clone Wars, I'm pretty sure I finished all of that. Then there was a movie, the animated movie, which I watched. Bad Batch, I didn't. I know there's another one that I'm forgetting.
There's Rebels
Yeah,
that
Rebels, I
are
don't know if I saw that one either.
yeah, but I went sideways. I watched Bad Batch first, then Rebels. Rebels, I wanted to watch so I can watch this, be able to like watch Ahsoka without
Mm-hmm.
knowing what the knowing what is actually happening.
Oh, and
So
I watched
I watched
Ahsoka.
Rebels, and then I watched Ahsoka, and then I'll get on the Clone Wars here eventually. That's the only main Star Wars product that's technically lore that I haven't watched yet. So,
Yeah, see, I like the Clone Wars one. That's good.
hmm
And
but
then
hey,
Ahsoka was good. They have that new one coming out. What's that? The Acolyte.
yeah, that looks good. I'm excited. The future of Star Wars is looking good with Dave Filoni. So, but
Yeah,
hey,
the
if you want to
Mandalorian
talk
was
about
pretty
Star
sweet.
Wars, if you want to talk about Star Wars, you should do a Star Wars stream. This is about football. Let's do it.
Did someone say that? I wouldn't doubt it. Be like, why the
No,
fuck are
no,
these
no,
people
no.
talking about Star Wars?
For 5 minutes talking about Star Wars. Like, wait a minute.
Take a 5 minute Star War break.
Yeah,
But
that's a slippery slope I don't want to go down. So
nah,
I'll
nah.
stop it right there.
Well, here, screw
Like
it.
worthy
We'll
and
start with round one. We If Dan wants to join in and he
yeah.
can, yeah, we'll start with round one. Who's your standout with that one? Who?
Stand up.
Yeah, your standout
I
first
mean,
round pick.
um, man. I mean, if like you're looking at the top here, you're looking at Caleb Harrison. Like, of course, this guy's gonna be good. I think I love JJ McCarthy, so I think Zach got a good player there. Um, I just know for some reason I think Brian Thomas is going to be a star in this league, and that's because of how that's how like first off, like LSU receivers, man, they are like really good, and if you get them in pairs, both of them could hit. Like you saw Chase and Jefferson. Now you have Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and Brian Thompson's going to a good situation in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. Not a whole lot of competition aside from maybe Christian Kirk. They released Zay Jones. And all you have is what, Gabe Davis there, who's going to show up maybe half the season and not show up the other half of the season. So I do like you have Ingram there too. Ingram stands out there too at tight end, but like I think Ryan Thomas really could just plant his foot right in there and just take over that wide receiving group if he really wants. So I think he's like as far as like my favorite like other than like the big like three or four like Caleb, Harrison, Neighbors, Daniels. Like I think he's gonna be a guy that kind of stands out. One guy I did think was kind of stands out as far as like, man, he actually did take him there still, and it was Brock Bowers. I think Cam, uh, I don't think he necessarily needed a tight end at that spot. Like he does have Hawkinson, he does have Noah Fant, but hey, if you get yourself that's like somebody like that with that much talent, I know the spot isn't ideal, but for Bowers, I think he's one of those like George Kittle guys. Just he's just gonna be just a playmaker and a force in this league, no matter what team he goes to, as long as they use him right. So
Yeah, kind of the Brock Bowers thing is probably one that I'm looking at as well, to be honest, just because of the landing spot. They just drafted Michael Mayer last year, and who's a good tight end. And he's not like he can't catch the ball. It's not like he's just throw him on the line and we just want him to block. Like the Steelers with what's his name, Darnell Washington. Like, yeah, he's just a really good blocker. Like, that's not Michael Mayer. Yeah, he's a good blocker, but he's a good pass catcher as well. So it's intriguing that they drafted him, and it may just be because they felt, compared to the other wide receivers, he was still the better of the pass catchers. So they'll figure, hey, we'll run the two tight end set, kind of like New England used to run. Well, even
yeah.
they kind of still run that, I think, honestly. I don't know about now, but you know what I'm talking about when they used to run a lot of
Oh yeah,
tight end sets
Belichick
with
did all the time.
Gronk
Yeah, they
and
stack the
yeah.
line. Yeah.
So it could pay off, but I still feel regardless. I mean, the quarterback, you just think about the quarterback situation as well. It's Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. And you still have Devontae there. You still have an offense that kind of likes to run it quite a bit. So, yeah, the Bowers one at 108 is the one I feel stands out. I wouldn't have picked him there.
Yeah,
I've,
I think
I mean,
especially with what he
Worthy,
has.
Kansas City, that's a good one. But Brian Thomas, that's a good one. I like that one as well. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, team wise, I think what Las Vegas might do is make Bowers into more of like a wide receiver type,
that's
like a
what,
fourth
yeah,
receiver, like
yeah.
put him in the slot or something like that, and have him take over the middle of the field, and then
Mm-hmm.
have Mayer there for like the like you said, like the two tight end sets and like the play action and that kind of thing, because you can use it both. Like it isn't like you can't like just make one guy a blocking tight end, like you said,
Oh, no,
like you
they
have in
definitely,
Washington and
yeah.
Pittsburgh. So I think like Bauer's going to be used as more like a more of a playmaking, just
Yep.
at like a receiver. He's just
Mm-hmm.
like the word tight end's going to be used way less to describe him.
Yeah,
And I think receiver is
yeah.
going to be more of a of a term for him. So
I mean, they
if
kind of
man, like
were
I mean,
using that for him going into the draft, so it's kind of honestly, really appropriate that you're saying that right now.
yeah. So and I think Cam, as far as like what he needs, like I said, he didn't need a tight end. He has Hawkinson, but he has now a second really good one. Like I thought maybe he would go, like maybe get himself an extra QB. Like you said, I think Bo Nix was still on the board at that point, or try to get one of those wide receivers. But no, I think like yeah, I think Bowers was still at that point the best talent available. So at that point,
Yeah, I can't argue with
I don't
that.
see him not taking him. So
Yeah, that I can't argue too much. As far as pure talent wise, he's kind of that's where he belongs. Like really, in most drafts, it was 106, 108, and the situation could have escalated him up to like 106, or like he fell back to the 108 because of the landing spot. So, But
Yeah. I mean, looking at what I look now, I think he ends up there anyway. I think whether he goes to the Jets or anywhere else, I think 108 was like the.
see, if he went to the Chargers, though, I believe that he definitely could have. Well, for our draft anyway, it's you could say that he could have went at the 108. But for a lot of drafts that weren't ours, it seems like this is where he was going and then projected to go as early as like 106. There was a lot of people even saying that they would have drafted him earlier than that. And if he had a really good landing spot, say the Chargers, then everyone's like, yeah, Justin Herbert, baby, let's go. He could end up going in a lot of drafts as early as 105, especially in some leagues where they have tight end premium, where we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I think would for us our league would have made like even a little bit more sense was if he went to Will at number 6 instead of taking a Doomsday. Maybe I think where he was drafted might have affected what Will chose there. So
Yeah, and he already has Kincaid and Laporta, so he has absolutely no need to force Bowers on his team.
yeah, that's true too. So, but yeah, I mean, looking at the top of the year though, like, but Dave needed a quarterback. He got one. Will needed. He didn't need anything. He just stocked up on young players. Now he
Hmm.
has
Yeah.
a really good quarterback and two, just I mean, two just like top of the line receivers in the draft, and
All
so
right.
he definitely balled out there.
All right, we can move on to the second round, but quick note, McConkey to the Chargers, that's not a bad one.
Nah, like everybody that like ended up in the first round, I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I can see
Fair.
that. Like, yeah, even the guys like
Yeah.
even guys like Coleman or Nix, or Mitchell, like I could have been like, hey, yeah, I could see him in the first round.
You could see it, yeah. All right, well, speaking of second round, let's move to the second round. What name stands out to you? You can let's just say one or two, screw it. What one or two names stand out to you?
Um, man, looking at it,
I
I
see quite
think
a few.
I think Bo Nix dropped a little bit. I don't think
Oh,
he
you think Bo Nix fell a little bit. I don't know.
fell a little bit.
All right,
I
go ahead.
feel like if it was me with that 11th pick and instead of what Aiden had, I probably might have gone Bo Nix. But
Well,
Keon
yeah,
Coleman
okay, yeah,
dropped as
position
high as he
need
did too. Yeah, like I think Dave might have gotten a little bit of a steal there too, but
with
um,
Coleman.
with Coleman, yeah. Let's see, Trey Benson, I kind of like where he's at. M- You know what? Dave with some very unique picks here. He goes Coleman with the 201,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes Roman Wilson and Jalen Polk over a couple of other guys like Pearsall, Leggett, Burton.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, seeing
that's kind of where I was going with mine. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, and we're talking more about that
Yeah.
with the Steelers, but Roman Wilson, I think, is just going to be a baller. He's just going to be one of the most consistent like a guy that you would love in like your flex spot. Like I don't think he's gonna end up being like a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1, but he's gonna be a very consistent like wide receiver 3. And Jalen Polk, it remains to be seen, but um, the Patriots took him in the second round, I believe. And yeah, I mean the guy came out of Washington. He is a big dude. Like well, I'm excited to see how that plays out. But yeah, I just think maybe Dave taking those guys that might have otherwise fallen a little bit farther on the board
Yeah,
took
Wilson
them right.
and Polk are kind of ones that are projected, like you were saying. And here, these are mine actually, because Pearsall is one of mine. Sorry, excuse me.
Mhm.
Uh Pearsall stands out because he was one that kind of was going earlier, and Roman Wilson and Jalen Park were going a little later, where around Pearsall draft range. So, like you said, that one was a little weird, but I think situation kind of played a hand in that to where Wilson, he's probably going to be what? He'll probably be almost a number two right away.
They're putting him in the slot right away, at least.
At
Yeah.
least, but he'll get on the field. And then Polk, I mean, going in #1 wide receiver pick for their team, matched up with Drake May, the rookie. It makes sense. And they really don't have shit for receivers on that team.
like
And
we
Pearsall, he has Debo and he has Ayuk in front of him. So I
yeah,
could
like situation
see
wise, yeah.
why he fell back. But normally those, like, from what I've seen, those are flip-flopped, kind of. Adonai Mitchell, another one. That'll be my second one. Adonai Mitchell, I feel he went too early. Because, I mean, Pittman and, I mean, there's Anthony Richardson, which I get. But they
I
still
think
have Downs.
they do, but I think Downs is gonna be more of the slot guy, and you're gonna have Adonai and Pittman on the outside.
Fair.
And I think
But
Alec Pierce is
Pittman's
just gonna
still
be a
the
fill in
guy.
there.
So that I feel like there could have been I felt like he could have went somewhere else with that one. I don't know. It could just be me and like I don't see them light as far as Richardson and throwing the ball. Like he runs a good bit, so that's gonna steal away from that. And then Pittman being a guy, and then Downs being a guy. Then Jonathan Taylor's coming back.
Hmm.
I just think I would have went. He honestly, I felt he should have just picked Blake Corum. I was happy he took that pick back, bro, and said he fat thumbed it. Cause I was like, shit, he drafted Corum, and then he was like, oh, I messed up. I'm like, yes, and then Dave picks, yeah, Dave picks his two wide receivers, Cornfield. Oh man, I can't tell you how. So, yeah, side note, I was super excited about Blake Corum. I was flipping shit over here when I drafted him. Super
Yeah.
excited, and that's just my little excitement that he's on my team. And he's not one like I felt like fell like super far. And I got I got a little lucky with that, but
Little, like I did not think he was gonna fall to me. Like if he did, I would have snatched him up. But
oh
like I
hell
didn't think
yeah.
he was
At the
getting like
212 you're talking about?
not only you, but like I don't think he was getting past Ham or Jeremiah
No,
or
Ham was gonna draft him. He has Kyron.
yeah.
So I it was funny because I was like, twofer, I got my guy and I screwed him over.
There you go.
Which
And then
it's not like I'm like, yes, I want to shit on, but like it's kind of it's I don't know, it's that competitive shit, you know.
yeah, man, we're all buddies. But hey, man, fuck you when it comes to
Yeah,
when it
yeah, at
comes
the
to
end of the
fantasy.
day, like I'm
I
trying
hope
to
you
beat you.
lose.
Yes, yes. Hell yeah.
So, but no, I love the Corin pick. I think he's gonna be. I think he honestly is gonna get a lot of work in his first season because Kyron can't just like take over the entire team the entire time. So, and yeah, it just leaves a big old gap there. But yeah, bye bye Zach Evans though, I guess, because he has now tried to I think into an afterthought. But Blake Corum, yeah, I like that pick. It was a good
Whew.
pick.
I got Ritter.
Yeah. I was like, man, I literally traded like I think swap draft picks to get him, just because I thought he had a shot, and I was like, not thinking about it. I'm like, that's dumb. I should have done that. And then making that trade, I just kind of. I mean, we can maybe dive into the trades a little bit here and in after the draft here, but
Yeah, there
um,
wasn't too many of them.
yeah. But as far as like the rest of the second round, I like the Ben Sinnott pick, and I was trying to make a Star Wars reference.
What, you
Uh,
said which pick?
Palpatine going, the Sinnott pick, Ben Sinnott.
Oh, Ben Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be like
Yeah.
Palpatine going, I am Ben Sinnott, but
Yeah, I like that one. That one was one that I felt like I could have went either way, Ricky Pearsall or him. And Jalen Wright was definitely in the cards at that point because I mean a fast running back going to the Miami Dolphins. Mostert's old. Achan had already injury issues, so that could have been a legitimate choice. But seeing that I only had Komet and I had Jaden Daniels, I drafted him, so it made sense.
Mhm. I get it, yeah. Because I was thinking I was running to Delia Goddard at that point, and you didn't win any of it. I was like, all right, he's probably going tight end at some point. So,
Mm-hmm. It was
and
just
then
a
Ricky
matter of
Pierce.
how far, because I wasn't leaving. It was either he was going there or at the 211. And with who was there? Jeremiah. I think that's why I didn't do that, because I felt if anything Jeremiah needed anybody, it was going to be a tight end. So once again, that was kind of in my thoughts, like, well, who's he going to want? Who's he going to
Mm,
need?
yeah,
And that's what came to my mind. So I was like, you know what? I already got the 211. Draft a guy that you think he's going to want and hope that the other guy falls. And it did. I
absolutely.
got Pearsall. Well, Wright and Pearsall were both there. So again, yeah, I had the choice. All right.
Yeah.
On to the
Speaking of
third round.
falling, no, I was gonna say speaking of falling.
Right?
I mean, 2 weeks ago, if I had told you Michael Penix would have been in the 210 spot,
Oh, yeah.
you
True,
would have
true,
been
true, true,
like,
true, true.
like what happened? Did he like what happened? Did he get hurt? Like, you're like, nope, he went to the Atlanta Falcons behind multi-million-dollar man Kirk Cousins. So,
Yeah, that's
barring an
really the
injury,
reason.
yeah, I was hoping he'd honestly fall to me because I would have snatched him up
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like
I mean, why
him,
not?
Bo Nix, any one of those quarterbacks, like I would have
I could have
at least
easily
put him
seen
on my
me
taxi
drafting him at
squad.
the 211. And shit, if he fell to
Especially,
the 3-1, I definitely would have been up like, well, shit, do I want my handcuff or do I want a potential starting quarterback?
yeah, especially if I had kept Cousins, like he would have definitely like a couple of the probably
True.
think I think I probably would have kept my draft pick first off. But then I think I would have maybe traded up and try to get Penix if he had dropped that far. So, but it is what it is. And then Ricky
Hmm.
Pearsall, I think he's still going to be a good pick in the long
Yeah.
run.
I do too.
He got him like draft board wise, he fell, but I
Mm-hmm.
think he ends up kind of where he's supposed to be because of the situation he's in.
Yeah, the
So
situation is a bit murky right now, but I mean, they drafted him in the first round. Um, Ayuk only has this last year, same with Jawan Jennings.
yeah,
And Debo, I think, has 2 years, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. So
I'd
really,
say
I mean,
at least
what?
all of
I
us.
had to wait on him for a year, and I get a starting wide receiver if he ends up getting bumped up to the number two alongside Debo. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, even if like yeah, let's see how these 2 years play out. You got him on your taxi squad. You don't have to worry about him. You just see where the chips lie there at that
Mm-hmm.
point. And then like we talked about Jalen right for a minute there, just because um like personally I was considering him even like before like he fell this far. Just based on the fact that yeah, I think he ends up in a good situation. He's a fast guy, and then Mike McDaniel loves fast dudes. So I think that's the perfect landing spot. Even though he does have Mostert and A Chain above him right now, Mostert's old. A Chain is
Yep,
injury prone. Like
exactly. Yep.
in like a matter of 3 weeks, you can see him end up being in the starting
Yeah.
running back spot, and you're like, oh shit, that was a steal. So
Honestly,
yeah,
it's like that's exactly what I said, and yeah, I mean, it's 100% the truth. So that's really why I was debating that at the end of the draft, like, or not the end of the draft, the end of the second round. Because yeah, just a situation like it's if he gets on the field, he's probably gonna put up points. So all right, enough of the second round. On to the third round, and we're kind of just saying fuck the one and two people thing. So let's just uh let's just keep going.
yeah. Ray Davis, I like that. Aldo Pratt, I feel like it's could change. There have been a list of names of running backs that were drafted above the age. I think he's about 25 now. Ray Davis, 24.
Wait, man.
There's a list of I think a list of runners that were drafted like above the age of like 24 when Ray Davis is on there. All the other dudes, and this isn't a knock on Ray Davis, but all the other dudes, I can't
You're
even. I don't
talking
even.
about them being drafted at a certain age and it working out.
Yeah,
I got
well,
you.
not working out. Like
No,
I'm seeing a
yeah,
bunch of
okay,
names.
gotcha.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know who these guys are.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but hey, that could change because I think he's in like more of like a he's more of a bruiser. I think
Yep.
as a running back, and yeah, I think he's a nice little like strength option beside James Cook. So
Good vision
I
runner,
think
good in between the tackles runner. That's
yeah,
something that Buffalo seems like they want to do, like especially since Joe Brady stepped in. Like I was watching the Bills game. I was one towards the end of the year, and that's when they had Joe Brady, and you could tell like that's they were doing that a lot more, and then they were trying to use the other running back besides Cook. Because that's when they were bringing in who they bring in. I think Fournette, and they brought in Johnson, and they had like how many other different people behind them trying to plug in someone behind them. And with Ray Davis, I figured he's gonna probably beat out most of those dudes.
yeah,
And because Frank Gore Jr., I know he got signed to them after the draft, but he went undrafted. Ray Davis, I think, went in the fourth, if I'm not mistaken, fourth or fifth.
yeah. I think it was the fourth round.
So they went and got him way before everybody else. So that kind of tells you something. And yeah, Theo Johnson, or not Theo Johnson, that's the tight end. What the hell is his name? The running back.
For
He used to be on the
Buffalo,
Jets, I think.
Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's with them right now, but he's not really a threat.
yeah.
And
Like I think it's gonna be Cook, Davis, and then I guess you have either Gore or
I think Gore
Johnson there.
probably ends up beating out Ty Johnson. And
Yeah,
Latavius Murray's still on there, but like, yeah,
I
he's
don't think
yeah,
he's old.
yeah.
You
I'm not
know,
worried about him.
I think
The
it's
only
like
two other
14,
ones I'd be
15
worried
years.
about anybody going over Ray Davis would be probably honestly Frank Gore Jr. over Ty Johnson, because I figure Ty Johnson's more of the James Cook type, to where Ray Davis and Frank Gore are kind of almost the same, you know, where they're more of the like
Yeah,
bruiser types.
I think Darrington Evans is on there too, but I think he'll be more of a special teams guy. Like,
Yeah, Darrington
you
Evans,
know,
he's way at the bottom of the list. He's behind Reggie Gilliam.
mm,
Yeah, Darrington Evans is only rostered in 1% of leagues. Yeah, Ray Davis right now is currently rostered in 86% of leagues in Sleeper right now. That's a lot.
amen.
And there's actually drafts where I was seeing him going in this late second.
His tires are getting pumped up a little bit. I
Yeah, I
could see
think
that.
that's more of them just being like the offense they're trying to run, so they're like, "Oh yeah, he could get some instant play." That's kind of the hope. Like he just ends up being the backup to James Cook and he gets time like almost immediately.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of like who's getting in the end zone. Like you got
That
Josh
too.
Allen running the
Yeah.
ball a little bit,
Yeah,
and
if
like
he's going to get the ball, if the running back's going to get it in the red zone, who's it going to be?
yeah, chances are it's gonna be Ray. Like I can
Mhm.
see the dude going for like 600 yards this season, but he'll end up scoring like 10 touchdowns.
Right.
Like he's gonna be that
Right.
kind of guy. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Uh who's the guy for me?
Xavier.
Honestly, this round's kind of tricky. You know what? I'm gonna look at the Troy Franklin one. Jeremiah picked him up, and I just like that because of the fact that they were teammates in college. They performed extremely well together in college, and now they're just matched up again, and not a lot of competition in Denver for Troy Franklin. I mean, you got Sutton, you got Mims. A few other Brandon Johnson, I think his name is, but other than that, like, I mean, Tim Patrick, I think, but he was supposed to be a guy like 3 years ago, but I don't even think he's seen the field in how long.
I think he's getting back from injury too.
Like, it's just no competition really. So that's
Yeah,
one that I could see a good path, a kind of a clear path for Franklin to get some play.
yeah. I mean, you don't forget you have Barbara Mims there, but
Well, that's why I
I think
said
Sean
Mims.
Payton held him back a little bit. I think so. I think he's gonna maybe have a better second year than he did this first year, but
And they're almost the
otherwise,
same type of guy. So
yeah. But like, hey, I could see you three guys being Sutton, Mims, and Franklin, especially with Bo Nix at quarterback. I think he might
that's what,
target
yep.
Franklin a little more. So
It's his guy. He already knows him.
yeah,
So it'd make a lot of sense. And I'm surprised he actually did fall that far just based on that fact.
yeah. Honestly, as far as like guys falling, I think like Xavier Legette dropped significantly for me.
Yeah, he's kind
Um,
of one that he was going in second rounds for a lot of drafts. So yeah, he did fall a little bit for in ours.
like I could have seen him going like at the 205, 206 even. So to see him like, and I was even considering him at one point, but was gonna I was
What
gonna
at year
take a really
212?
yeah like he was there. I was like, oh man, that's nice little pickup. Like at that point, I had Bryce Young too, so I was like, that could be a little combo there.
True.
But
Yeah, that's
I don't know if
true.
he. I just didn't know if I could trust it as much as I would
Yeah,
trust like
I
Bo
feel you.
Nix and Franklin or
Yeah.
Daniels and Sonata or something like that. So I passed on him, or
Uh,
I probably would have passed on him. Unless I mean, you just you're never gonna know if he drops 304 if I take him or not. I guess. But
no, I feel you, dude. I feel you. Jalen Wright probably if honestly, if you didn't pick Jalen Wright right then and you went and Xavier Leggett at 212,
yeah,
I think I probably would have picked Jalen Wright over Ray Davis. I don't know. It would have been close.
yeah,
Just because I have James Cook, there's all like
that's
just
yeah,
having the
that's tough.
handcuff is yeah, it matters.
That's,
So it added a little more on top of that, but yeah, I
yeah, that's good
see. I
maybe.
mean, Leggett, if Young doesn't suck and he actually does good, I mean, Legette's going to be the number two guy next to, if not the primary X receiver. So really, he'd be the number one, and they'd make Deontay the number two. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But
I
either
think
way, it's almost instant play for him. Really.
yeah, I think he's gonna be on the outside. You're gonna have Deontay on the other side, and you have Adam Thielen in the spot. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
so. I am rooting against them the hardest way, just because I just don't want to trade Bryce Young away and just all of a sudden
And
turn into
all
like
that just
Trevor
collapse.
Lawrence
Like, damn, I could have had
2.0
Young.
and
I could
just
have had Leggett.
damn
Damn
it,
you.
I have Baker Mayfield. um, but we can talk about that in a little bit too. But
I totally feel
um,
that, bro. I
I was like,
totally
it's just
feel
like
that.
man, but yeah, his offer though was like it was too good to pass up. But
No, it
I
was
did
a
decided.
it was a solid deal
Mm,
because you get you well here since we're talking about that we can talk about the trade. You
yeah,
so really the meat of the trade was Mayfield and
it was
Michael
Mayfield
Wilson
in my
for
second round pick.
yeah the
Twenty twenty
2027
seven.
second yeah.
I wasted no time doing that for Mayfield, Michael Wilson, and Elijah Mitchell, and also a third round pick.
Yeah, it was
So
just
I basically
really
got the
it's
picks up.
Mayfield, Young, 2027 second, Michael Wilson, and a
Yeah,
third if you want to count that because Mitchell,
yeah. I don't know if who do you think it favored? Like if you had to say who won that trade right away, who would
Um,
you say won that trade?
looking at it straight up, I mean, if I'm kind of where you're at, so I would have to maybe I think I would lean you just by a little bit because I'm kind of where you're at, where I feel like Young isn't going to be what they thought he was going to be. Like he could maybe be like an alright quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be the star they thought he was going to be, you know? And who's to even say he is ends up being decent? You already know Mayfield's good. Like you know he's on a good offense with good receivers. There's no guessing there. And
Right.
Michael Wilson for I mean what a second that's 2 years down the line. That's yeah, that's not really. I'd lean you.
Cool. I was like, I think about like, cause yeah, like I did, bro. Like I was gonna full on just like take Bryce Young into the sunset, whether it was good or bad, and I was gonna ride him until the wheels fell off there. But like I said, I can see a path where he succeeds just because of how much improved their offense is now.
Mm-hmm.
But and now they have that their head coach was Dave Camales. He was the offensive coordinator for guess who? Baker Mayfield last year.
Oh
So
shit. Yeah.
that scares the shit out of me too.
Oh
But
dang, I didn't know that.
so
Oh
yeah, I was
damn.
like, man. So I can see why Hayden took the chance too.
Yeah.
To like see how Bryce Young does. Plus he's got two good quarterbacks
Well,
there still.
that's like I told him, Young has the greater potential like in value because he's younger, so if he does do good, his value is going to be higher than Mayfield's. So he
Yeah.
could end up winning that trade. Easy. Just
Uh,
because the youth and the talents there where Mayfield is talented, like he puts up points for fantasy, yes. But he's also what, almost I think he's going on 29 if he isn't 29 already.
which I mean, the quarterback age isn't like that old.
No,
Like
but
you could honestly say he's in his prime right now, as far as
when
like what a quarterback is doing, what a
age in
quarterback is.
dynasty matters a lot, especially when it comes to value. Like when you're
Yeah.
looking at like someone like I think what Bryce would be 22, 23, and you figure you got another 5 something years before he even hits the age Mayfield is.
Hmm.
So that's where all that comes into play.
But yeah, I mean, as far as age, I wasn't really thinking of it too much. Especially with quarterbacks, like because you're Aaron Rodgers doing this still at age 40. Like I wasn't like gonna say, hey, he's gonna start to deteriorate or anything. He's 29. Like he's 3 years younger than us, and and he can still sling a ball around as long as it gets protected and everything like that. So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was a top
No,
10
it's not
quarterback.
like you were given like you were in like it was a Bryce Young Kirk Cousins trade where he's like 35 coming off an ACL.
Yeah, like Rodgers is 40, and he's still been like, with the exception of
Or
last season.
Rogers too, like you were
Yeah,
getting Rogers and you were trading up Young. Then I'd be like, all right, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah. What are we
you
doing?
know?
But like Mayfield, I think it's like he's signed an extension. He's gonna be in Tampa for at least a few
Yes,
years.
yes, yes.
So I can see it. I also just wanted because I don't have the greatest quarterbacks. I have Jared Goff, who honestly, look at the stats. The dude's a QB1 stat wise,
No, for
like
sure, for
every
sure.
season. Like he's sneaky. And then Derek Carr, not the worst like QB2 that I could possibly have, but I needed somebody else there. So like I like the fact that I have Baker in my super flex spot. So
Yeah, now if you need somebody, cars in the wings ready, because like you said, he's a QB too. You could just throw him there if you need be, and even if you desperate and you need him at QB1, he'd be if he gives you 15, 16 points, and you only need him for a week or two, it suffices.
hmm
And
so
Mayfield, I would pick Mayfield over Carr definitely. I mean, I don't if someone picks Carr over Mayfield, then they might have to
I
get
could see it
checked.
like maybe with like a matchup situation or
A
something like that.
matchup,
But
but
otherwise,
I'm talking like law,
sure.
like just like for your QB2 for the year, who would you rather have, Carr or Mayfield? And they pick Derek Carr. It's like, well, what the fuck?
I was like, ah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't. I thought it was a solid trade either way.
yeah. Hey man, it's honestly, it's all for fun. Like I'm not gonna sweat it too much. So. I'll just, if Bryce Young turns into a franchise quarterback, I'm just gonna kick myself a little bit. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
But hey, if he sucks and has another shit season, you're like, yeah, I'm so glad I got rid
Yeah.
of him.
So bad.
Because it's true. Like
Oh.
at the same time, if he does suck, his value dips even more. So how much is he worth then?
Mhm.
If you give him up now, at least he has value.
Exactly.
How much longer does he hold value if he's sucking?
Because honestly, what I was trying to do was get Baker for his little inside information. Like I was considering just like dishing out that 2027 first round pick
Mm-hmm.
and just grabbing Mayfield, having that quarterback, and like having
Yeah,
him work.
just yeah, saying the one for
Like not have
one.
to
Yeah.
worry about it. But then you mentioned Young, and I was like, I don't have to use my first round pick yet. Like that's kind of cool. Like, I
Yeah,
don't need to worry about that. So yeah, so
I feel it.
like I said, I feel like I'm in a good spot now. So and that my compared to what my team looked like 2 weeks ago, I did not expect this. So
Yeah, I mean, the shape
but,
of your roster could change really almost instantly sometimes.
mhm.
But
But yeah,
let's
got
continue on
first
this
round
third
here.
round here.
Let's see, Jachavion Sanders, Marshawn Lloyd,
Yeah,
Kenny Moore.
isn't there a tight end on Carolina right now?
No, I think they have like Hayden Hurst or somebody
Is
like
that who it
that. But
is? Hurst?
yeah, they don't really have like a
Yeah, anybody that matters.
no, nothing that's really even close to being
I think
tight end. Like,
he
I
might
think
have fell
Sanders.
just based off of um I think he fell because of the landing spot a little bit. Because I think a lot of people are on the boat that me and you are on as far as Bryce Young and how good he's going to be.
Mhm.
You know? Because if people are confident in him being good, he would have probably went in the second for a lot of. But it seems like the third round's where he's fallen. And he was actually projected in front of Ben Sinnott for a long time.
Yeah, like you said, like the situation changed a little bit. I still think Sanders ends up as their top tight end. Like
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
he's
I'm
gonna be
looking at
right there.
the thing right here. It's him at the top, Tommy Tremble, Ian Thomas, Chris Pierce, like a bunch of no legit, just like the only other
The
dude I
stars.
know is Tommy Tremble. The other like six dudes listed here, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
I think I think Dady did a tight end too. So I think that is a good pickup by him.
it's not bad.
So
He wouldn't
yeah.
have made it too much farther.
And then honestly, like the Marshawn Lloyd pick, I just like I said, I just need some running backs. I just needed to
Lloyd makes
bulk up on.
sense. That one was one I was actually considering at the 301.
Yeah, you can honestly say the same thing about him as you can say about Jalen Wright. Is yeah, he might be the third back to start out, but AJ Dillon isn't good. I'm sorry, he's not. I had a
He's all right. He's not like I wouldn't say he's like
he's
close to being good. Like you know what I'm saying? He's just like kind of a guy that can be
he's just a
solid
guy.
for
He's a
you.
jack. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
But like I said, and Josh Jacobs is like 2 years ago he
Oh
was that
wow,
guy,
OBS
and now
disconnected? What the
last year I
fuck?
think he was. Uh
Hold up.
oh man,
Yeah, it disconnected. Hold up. Let me see what's going on here.
all good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's OBS reconnection successful. All right.
Reboot her up.
Now, is it? All right, this is weird. Is it? Do 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 do. All right, I think we're good. Um, yeah, that thing's super far behind, but it's working.
It's all right.
Yeah, that
It'll
was
do the same
weird. I
thing.
don't know why it did that. Cause yeah, I'm looking at the stream and it broke it up into two videos.
Hmm.
So it definitely reconnected itself.
Yeah, I
I mean, it's
refreshed.
showing it's still recording on the bottom, so if it missed anything on Twitch, it'll probably be the full version of it on at least the recording. So yeah, we're good. But shit,
Yeah.
where were we at?
Marshawn Lloyd actually.
Yeah, Lloyd. Okay, you're right. Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, Green
basically
Bay.
a good situation. Yeah, like you got Jacobs, but I don't think he's like the same guy he was a couple years ago. Even though I drafted him last year in redraft, I thought he was. But
Yeah, I don't blame you for that one.
and then like he's also injury prone too. But I think Lord, I think is gonna be a good, like kind of a long game. Just give him a couple years, see how he does.
And a
But
more clear path, compared to a lot of other situations.
yeah, so and plus I love him as a pass catcher, and you really don't have like Dylan or Jacobs aren't considered like
Hmm.
big pass catchers. So I think he can end up being the third down back and getting some, especially for PPR, having some work in there. So, but yeah,
I feel it. Um, the one that kind of just keeps popping in, like just the one I just keep gravitating to seems to be that Braylon Allen one, and I don't know why, but because it's not like that's a bad spot for him. It was just seemed like he was projected for a while to be like second round. I don't know.
I
Maybe I'm
definitely think
crazy, but I'm pretty sure for a while there he was projected for second round. And then I think it's just circumstance in that situation. Because, I mean, but even so, you still have Brees Hall and then him. So he'd be the pounding running back. And you'd figure people would
that
probably be like, all right, well, if he ends up being the RB2 and still gets some play and then Brees Hall gets hurt,
he also got on the guy that the draft last year, Israel Bandakanda. Is he still there? So he was the backup
yeah,
for
true. Yeah. But
Brees
really,
Hall at
how
the end
much
of
do
the
they even
season.
use
So
him though? And
I think
he's
they use him
not
a little
he's
bit
not the
in
runner
one
Braylon
games.
Allen is.
Runner, no. He's still a big old talented dude, and this is only his second year. But I think there's gonna be a battle there for the backup spot between Allen and Abanikenda. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, neither one of those guys I think is gonna be like a legitimate like like even like fantasy relevant at all until something happens all.
You need
Which
something to happen to Brees. You need him to get injured. That's really the only
yeah,
thing that yeah. And that's probably why he does fall there. It's just yeah, Brees Hall. He's just
yeah.
and then
Brees
Aaron
Hall
Rodgers,
needs a
they're
better
gonna
game every
sling it a
week.
little bit. It's not gonna just be run, run, run. Because if it was
No.
more of a running game, then I could see him going higher.
Yeah, I think they will run it a decent amount, but they're not gonna be doing that. Like Brees Hall's not gonna get 30 touches a game, or they aren't gonna run that much. Like it's gonna be maybe 20 for him. That includes some catches. So I think he's still gonna be an RB1. But like so they didn't have any type of passing game last year, and now that changes. So
Yeah, I think I just don't like that. Like, I think, and that's really what it is. I don't like the Allen spot with the
yeah,
Jets. And it
basically,
just, I'm looking at it
yeah,
like, ugh.
yeah. He just kind of ended up there. Honestly, I think I would have taken somebody like Estime over him or Bucky Irving just because they have a
Yeah,
clear path.
I think well, I would have picked Bucky over Estime. I would have
Yeah, I
picked
mean,
I would have picked Irving over Yeah, I think
I prob
I think I would have too, over
I
Allen as well.
honestly, the only person I probably would have taken Shipley. I definitely would have taken Kamani Vidal over Braylon Allen,
I
even though
think so
Allen's.
too.
I mean,
Yeah, we're a
Allen's
bunch of we're
Allen's
Allen haters
still
right now.
not a hater even. Just he's in a bad spot.
I
But
think
he
yeah,
is
it's really the spot. It
literally
is. It just
he's literally still a child. The dude just turned 20 years old. He
Allen. Yeah,
literally
true. He's the
like,
super young one.
and he's just super big and just super powerful. So he's got yeah, like the dude's got 5 years to do anything until like people start giving
Yeah,
up
he
on
kind
him.
of already has that question mark on top of the situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So
I feel the Vidal one though. I kind of feel that.
I was
I
like
probably would have
hoping
too.
nobody would have like even thought about picking him up, and I would have just immediately just grabbed him
If he
in free
fell to me at
agency.
404, it would definitely been a battle between Luke McCaffrey and Vidal.
Yeah,
No
Vidal
question.
is all you got is J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
Yeah,
Like,
two dudes who get injured quite a bit, it seems like.
yeah,
So,
Gus is more just like a goal line back, and like I said, Dobbins has been never able to play a full season.
yeah,
So
never.
Vidal's got a legit shot to do something this
Yeah,
year at
Vidal
least.
could end up being the steal of the draft, honestly.
And then yeah, I'm looking at
Anything left
his
in the third round, or are we moving on to the fourth?
third round. No, and everybody kind of
Yeah,
seems like Brendan Rice might have been a bit of a reach, but I
I think
think
so too.
I'm never gonna doubt what Tommy does. I feel like he gets he's cheating by getting information from NFL officials or something like that of who's gonna be good. It's because he keeps putting the damn league every single year. But
Eh, I don't know if I would consider, I don't know if I would say it was because of that.
Brendan Rice, hey man, Jairus' son. He's got the bloodline there at least. And he's honestly he ends up in a good situation. Honestly, the Chargers they're just waiting for somebody to kind of break out, and they did grab McConkey, so just you just kind of waiting and seeing with that wide receiver group what happens. So, but I could easily see by the end of the season it being like Rice on one side and McConkey on the other, and then just having like Josh Palmer in there and just Quentin Johnson being an afterthought because I don't think he's good at all.
Well, DJ Shark's on that team now too.
DJ Harris too. When has he ever been fantasy relevant though? To be honest.
Actually, a little bit. Not a like he's the thing is the only time he doesn't seem to be fantasy relevant is when he's injured. He's kind of like reminds you of Mike Williams almost. And then I mean last year he was with the Panthers who sucked. So can't really say too much about that one. But
Yeah.
cuz I was looking at that earlier now after like cuz I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, "Well, how good has DJ Shark actually been when he's been playing within the last few years?" Cuz I know I had Shark in redraft like years ago when he was what was it for the Lions
Yeah.
or something?
He played for Detroit. He
Yeah.
played 11 games. He finished 76 PPR.
Well, which
So
year? You talking about 218?
no, 2019 was his best year. He was in Jacksonville. He played almost the whole season, and he finished 17th among wide receivers. That was his best year by far. Every other year,
He's
um,
injured a lot. Like you could just look at it. Like the next
yeah,
2 years, injured.
and I think he's gonna be 27 or 28.
Yeah, he's
Like
27 right now.
I don't think he's
Because, like,
gonna be
even
like
in 2022,
that
you
good.
look at some games here, like 15 points, 14, 21, 14. That's not bad. And then 18, 13, 27. Like, there's some games there where he does good. So, I'm not going to doubt that he ends up being at least wide receiver two on that team if he can stay healthy.
I don't know. I think right now it's gonna be. I think they're still gonna try to ride the Johnson train a little bit longer. Um, and then have Josh Palmer there too with McConkey. But like I said, I think I
Ooh,
would
I
bet
think
my
Quentin Johnston's
chips.
done.
like I said, I think they're gonna try on him one more year, but he's not good.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like I said, I think honestly, like, and out of the two guys that are left, like, I think I bet my chips more on Brendan Rice over DJ Chark, unfortunately. But hey, man, we'll see. Sneaky pick. I like Jalen McMillan too. That Zach picked up for Tampa.
Yeah,
I
that
think he
was
can
one that I
be.
was looking at. I was hoping he'd actually fall to me, but
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said, not like this year or anything, but like in a couple years, if Godwin leaves, like Evans, like he can be that top
Well,
guy.
I think
Like I
is
think he's
Godwin on his last year of his contract? I can't.
Godwin is, yes.
Yes,
Mike
that's
Williams
okay.
signed
Yeah.
a 2-year extension,
Yeah, Mike
so
Evans
he's
got
leaving
signed.
there.
I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was one that I was looking at too because like you were just saying about yeah, the situation. I mean, Godwin with the only 1 year. I mean, Trey Palmer, he's not going to be anybody. I mean,
yeah.
I
Like
think if
McMillan gets,
anybody's going to win that battle to be the third right away, it's probably going to be McMillan, I feel.
yeah, 'cause I think you got what Trey Palmer there. Or,
Yeah, he got drafted by him last year and he showed some I was looking at his stats the one time cuz him and Willie and Dave made that trade for whatever reason, and I guess he thought, yeah, I don't think he was thinking. I just think he accepted it, but we're moving on.
yeah,
Trey Palmer, yeah, not he had like one good game at the end of the year, and that was pretty much it. Well, two, I guess, considering if you wanted the playoff game, but he had one reception for 56 yards, and then the one game was 16 points. He had five receptions, five targets, 84 yards, and a touchdown. But yeah, he's not really anything special to where you feel like McMillan can't beat him out.
nah. Like I said, he's probably gonna be the wide receiver 3 to start. Not
Hmm.
gonna be like super productive in fantasy this year, but like I said, once Godwin leaves and
Yeah, he could end up being the wide receiver too.
if something happens to one of
Hmm.
them this season, like I
True.
can see him
Yeah.
jumping up too. So
Yeah, I agree with that take for sure.
all
Uh,
right, round
that's
4.
pretty much it for the third round for me, anyway.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too. So we talked about Bucky for a second. I think he was. Yeah, like I said, I think I would have
yeah, to
taken him in like the
back to back Tampa
middle of the
Bay.
third round. Like middle third maybe would have been a good spot for him with Rashad White there, the only guy there. So
Zach have Baker Mayfield?
he had him. Yeah, he literally Baker's been tossed around here. He got traded to
Yeah, that's what surprised me. I'm
Aiden.
like, why would he do that if like he just traded away, like stacking up on Tampa? He's another one who,
Yeah.
if he would just let shit alone,
Uh.
his team would be stacked as fuck right now.
Yeah. Hey man, he did that to himself.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, fourth round.
yeah, we
Uh,
mentioned Vidal,
yeah,
Spencer
Vidal.
Rattler.
I mean, really, Vidal is
Yeah,
kind of
he's a guy.
that's probably one of the better picks. I mean, Theo Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about him. It seems like he's kind of like a prospect. Like he has the talent, but he's kind of raw. That's kind of what I was getting from a lot of.
Yeah. Sort of. He went to Penn State. Um.
Yeah, I don't watch too much college football to be honest with you.
Aw.
Yeah, like I pay attention to it for like the reasons that I need to for like Dynasty and shit. But like watching, especially like Theo Johnson, a dude that really wasn't even talking about being drafted, I think, in rookie drafts really at all. Because I didn't
Mhm.
hear his name that much. And again, yeah,
No, I knew
there
he
was
was
no
up there.
reason for me
Like,
to know him until I guess now.
yeah, like I knew who he was. I don't think he was Bowers or Sanad or even Sanders.
That's what I'm
Like, I think
saying. He wasn't even
next
like there
year.
was other dudes ahead of him as far as the tight end talk. he was
Yeah,
not one of those dudes that I was hearing about.
yeah. It's not a bad spot though. He ends up with the Giants, and they do have Daniel Bellinger there,
Yeah,
and
true.
so like I don't know if he's gonna get that much work this season, but hey man, somebody to pop in your taxi squad, see what happens in a year or two, because that team can change over quickly in 1 or 2 years. So
Well, I think that's exactly what that is. It's hey, Waller's not going to be there. Do they really know what Bellinger's going to be? Theo Johnson has the talent, so he may end up being a guy in the future. And to
yeah,
draft him, I mean, really at the fourth round, third and fourth round both, really, you're kind of already you're that's pretty much what you're hoping for. And they use
exactly.
that term all the time, dart throw. It's true.
Hey man, that's what the third and fourth round is,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, hey man, I just
If
like
you
for
can
me, it's like,
manage
hey,
to hit on one of those dudes just to even give you some kind of production, that's a win.
yeah, man. I mean, Puka Nakua, man, that was the
Ooga.
like that dude was the third or fourth
Yeah, see,
rounder.
that's why I don't want to hear anything about Tommy being the best at waivers or anything like that. After I've grabbed Puka and Amon-Ra St. Brown back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Tommy, let's be real. He wins because he steals Zach's team away from him.
This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he didn't last year. I'll give him
No,
that. He
but
did better last
he that was more where he got extremely lucky, and
year.
my team was extremely dislucky. When you have two starting quarterbacks end up getting benched, you have a pretty good chance of winning against that
Yeah.
person.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right,
True.
enough of that. I'm still salty about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Luke McCaffrey. I think he's a sneaky pick there.
I like Luke McCaffrey. I was
Yeah, I think the
watching some
other.
tape on him, man, and yeah, for just becoming like the quarter, you know how a lot of them did. They play quarterback and then they switch to wide receiver. He looks pretty good as a wide receiver. Like some of
Yeah.
those catches and shit, like how he was operating, he looks good. I mean, it was only for what I think he went to Rice, but still, like the plays he was making, he could make that almost on any team.
Hmm. And he was
And he's a
selected in the
McCaffrey.
third round. He's a McCaffrey.
Yeah.
They are athletic dudes.
Yes.
4.46 in the 40-yard dash. He's not a spring chicken.
No,
That's
he's
for
not
sure.
super athletic, but he'll get the job done.
Yeah, man.
Good hands, it seemed like. There wasn't a lot of like there was one it was in the end zone and he got rocked. Like helmet coming off and shit. And it was just one of those catches like, damn, I love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think he can been working really well. Honestly, get a lot of get a lot of touches quickly. Like I don't really see like you have McLaurin, you have
So,
Dotson,
yeah, that's pretty much
and then
it.
who else do you really have? Jamison Crowder, maybe,
Yeah, I
and I
mean
think
Crowder,
McCaffrey.
that's his only competition. Yeah, Crowder.
Yeah. So and then you got some not in tight end spot. So yeah, I think
Because they don't have Curtis Samuel anymore. He's on the Bills.
need on the Bills. Yeah. So there's some opportunity there for him. So that's a good pick.
And it made sense again. Daniels already got him on my team.
Yeah.
So
Um, yeah,
pair
Will
him up.
Shipley.
Oh, what is beeping at me?
Yeah.
Oh, Netflix telling me there's a
Will
new movie or
Shipley.
something. Yeah, the end of the draft's
Demarcus.
kind of what? Evan Hall, not really anybody. That was
Really,
just him
guys that
kind of
you
just.
don't really
Michael
like. I
Gallup,
don't
that
really
was
want to talk
just
about.
a silly pick.
Yeah, I would honestly. I was thinking like, hey, maybe going Daddle or something, just because I felt like,
Well, the Dowdle
hey,
one we was talking about earlier, and I agree. Go ahead.
yeah, but no, like taking him and then just like you said, because I thought originally like we were just gonna do like a wait thing first,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't, and then so I was like, all right, I'll wait until he drops three. Nobody's gonna know who he is. Like I can put $5 on him and then get him or something. And then he went 2 rounds before me with Aaron, and I was like, damn it. So I guess I will take Corenda then. So, but
Yeah, you got Isaac Horrendo though.
yeah,
I
there you
probably would
go.
have picked Horrendo over Dowdle.
Over Dottle.
Yeah, I think I would have picked him over Dowdle.
For me, it was like who if it was between them two, like who would have been easier to pick up as a free agent, honestly. Like or
Oh,
off of
I
waivers. Like I
feel
feel
like
like
Dowdle
Dottle
probably would have been the one who fell.
would have gotten more. Like I think he would have like if it was a waiver thing. I feel like Dottle would have been more than Granda. So because Dottle's like on
Eh,
a elite offense as like honestly like a splitting time with
it could
his
go either
Elliott.
way because you have the group of people who like pay attention to that shit, like me, Willie, Tommy, like like those people who like are paying attention to that shit. So Horrendo, like as soon as he hit, like if he falls out of the draft, I would have scooped Horrendo up fucking immediately. Like he would have been a dude. I would have grabbed him over that Loeb dude who I grabbed from the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Horrendo would have been the guy I picked up.
Amen. He's a beastie boy. He shot up the draft boards too because he had a really good had a really good combine. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and I
I
think I
think
probably would have drafted Horrendo over Gore as well. Horrendo, I would have drafted Khalil Shakur. That makes sense. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised he actually fell that far because you already know you're getting the wide receiver two in the Bills' offense.
hmm
So there's no guessing there. You know what you're getting. You're going to get production from Shakir. So I'm kind of surprised he fell. And he's not like he's old. He's what, 24, only in his second year?
yeah,
So I don't know. That one, yeah. I could see why he's there, but at the same time I could see him going on like third round in ours with the with it not just being rookies.
exactly.
Which next year we probably should just do like that's what I wanted to do, just rookies only. Because it's kind of pointless throwing in those waiver people just to muck it all up.
hmm And maybe just looking through like some of the stuff that happened after the draft, is like you said, a bunch of guys getting picked up. So that's all that it really was. There's a trade with me and Hayden. We already talked about that, and then he made us a trade with Aaron.
Yeah, and that's
You have
just kind of like a
McLaughlin.
nothing trade, trading McLaughlin for what,
I
two
mean,
fours?
McLaughlin, I like him. Like, if
No,
I
I
had known
do
he was on the
too.
market for that, I'd have probably been like, hey man, what's up?
I,
I would
l-
have given you.
I like McLaughlin too. It's just with all the running backs that I had on my team,
You
at
needed
that
a.
point
That's how I felt.
I'd rather have my fourths back.
Yeah, that's
And
how I
he had
felt
a
with like.
taxi spot open. So I was like, all right, hey, let's make this deal. And he pretty much almost like, I think it, I was, as soon as I was getting ready to message him, it popped up on the thing. I was like, oh, never mind.
If you would have sent me that too, I would have accepted that in a heartbeat. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
not a lot of people know who McLaughlin is. And that's the sad part. Because I think a lot of people were were just shitting on his like making him like he's a nothing. Like I know they drafted Estime and the backfield's a little murky, but he practically beat out P Ryan, that's for sure. Like P Ryan would fall to number three, but he even beat out Javonte Williams and was getting more play than Javonte was.
I don't know.
I think the
I
last
don't
game of
remember
the
that.
season they actually started McLaughlin, but sadly he got hurt.
Yeah, he only played a handful of snaps. He only got
And
like.
when he got his opportunity, he was doing good. He
hmm
led what? I think they said he led the team with 5.4 yards a carry.
Yeah, I think he's in for. I don't know how much of a breakout because like I said the backfield's loaded. Like they have like I
That's
don't
where it gets murky. It's just a lot of
even if
people.
you have even if you have Javante, you don't like it because Like, how much playing time is he actually going to get? He might get half the
And
snaps.
can Javante even
And
stay healthy?
yeah, so like, is he even like? I don't think he's the same guy he could have been 2, 3 years ago. Like, it's just kind
The
of like
hype
that
has
backfield
died a lot with
situation.
him.
Yeah, like that backfield situation right now, I would just like, especially like in a redraft league, like here, I would just avoid it as much as you can, unless you can get one of those guys that you think is going to be the best deal. That's like as like a cheap bench player, like Javonte Williams. He might be a flex for me, but I'd rather see
There's
him like
so
in
many
the
other people I'd rather
seventh
use.
or eighth round as like a bench guy,
I don't even
just in
think I'd
case.
want to use him as a flex. I think at that point, I would rather just have, if you were going to use him as an RB2 and just let it sit. And just
Yeah.
use like a better receiver, like use a good receiver at the flex spot instead of him.
Hmm.
You know, you just have like a really good number one running back and then just leave him at the RB2. Like, all right, if he gets me double, like, if he gets me 16 points, I'll be happy with that.
Like honestly, like I mean, I thought Javante had a good year, and he was still only like the 29th ranked running back last year. Like his snap share wasn't great at all. Like
He just
I
didn't
think the
look good.
most, and I don't think he didn't look good. I think he was pretty good out of the backfield, like receiving. He scored some touchdowns there,
I don't
so I
know. He
think that
looked
helped a lot.
slow. He looked slow to me.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like, I thought maybe he was going to be a better player than he
I think that's
than
why
he came out.
McLaughlin ended up beating him out. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people don't know that either. Like that McLaughlin technically at the end of the year beat them out.
hmm So yeah, but hey, I think Aaron kind of got a nice little deal there from you. So
I think so too, honestly. And I wanted to hold him. But like I said, like yeah, give me. I'll take some picks. I already got running backs. I don't really need to wait and see. I have Cook. I got my handcuff. I got ETN. I got his handcuff. I got Blake Corum. I grabbed that Loeb dude. Uh, I think I have someone else. Who the? I have one more guy. I can't remember. No, that's it. But yeah, I have the handcuff for both my starters and Corum. Like, there's just no need for me to hold on to a bunch of running backs. And if I could get rid of them, cool.
cool.
Because receivers for
Yeah.
me are, I'd rather use receivers in that flex spot in super flex even if I had to over running backs any day.
Yeah, as far as like patch catching in that, like you want like two really good backs there, and then the rest of it should just be like pass catcher, just like guys that'll get a
Well,
lot
I'm
of.
talking like RBs, like using RBs over wide receivers in the flex spot, like where you could use a wide receiver, running back, tight end. If you were to ask me who I'd prefer to have at that spot, I'd rather use wide receivers over a running back.
Yeah,
So
because
for
they
my
get
team, I just need two RBs and I'm good.
exactly. That's kind of the philosophy I had. Unless you had like an elite, like not like three elite running backs, kind of like how Tommy does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tommy has a few running backs to where he can do that. Like he has A chain, like or
A
A
Chain,
chan.
Hall, and Jonathan
Like
Taylor.
yeah,
So like he
Hall
has.
Taylor, you throw in your RB1 and 2, leave it. A Chan, you could legit throw in your flex spot because you're like, all right, well this motherfucker could blow up for like 30 points. Which he
Hmm.
kind of has an upside of like a wide receiver in that instance. He's like a playmaker. So he kind of gives he's more of that type to where I could use him there. And he has the running backs to do so. Like
Yeah.
if that was Javonte Williams and not 8chan, then I'd be like, that doesn't look good. Like
No,
Ham's
I think
team,
we have a.
because
Let's see
he
what he has real
has,
quick.
I think he actually has him in his lineup, or he did. Yeah, he did. He had Gibbs, Kyron, and then he had Javonte in there. I think over Brown. Yeah, he did. He had Brown on the bench and he had Javonte in his flex spot, and that just looks ugly to me.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it looks so much better with Brown there. Like, I'd put Marquise Brown in that spot over him any day.
Right.
Um, yeah, what else is there really?
I mean, we can talk about this other stuff.
Rattler. I mean, Rattlers.
Rattler.
What do we think
I
about
was
Rattler?
I was gonna pick him up just because I have Carr and
Yeah, it
and
makes
maybe
sense.
a decent, like at least a cuff there. I was waiting to see if Leggett and Marshawn Lloyd were taken. I don't really see anybody that would have kept me from taking Rattler. So, but Marshawn Lloyd drop, I was like, I think I'd rather have the running back in that position. Like, he has a better shot of playing at least in the next couple of years. So I went with him. But yeah, it was close. I was hoping maybe Rattler would just kind of sneak his way to a point where maybe I could trade up a little bit and grab him in like the middle of the fourth round. But that was Will's just got himself another quarterback, so
Oh yeah, I
good
didn't
for
even notice Willie drafted him.
it was Willie, yeah. But Rattler, I don't know.
At
Like
that
I
point,
don't
you're
think he's
kind of just
anything
taking the gamble
too
that he ends
special.
up stepping
Yeah,
up.
yeah, like there's a reason why he's gonna be in that next tier. Like it took like what 180 some picks or something like that to get from Bo Nix to Spencer
Oh
Rattler.
yeah,
It was like a
it was
big
like
old
a
jump
historical thing, wasn't it? Like the difference between when one
between
quarterback went and then
quarterbacks.
how the other one fall, how far the other one fell.
Yeah, because Bo Nix went like early. I saw a lot of people Sanders. He went 12th, and then it was like 200 something when Rattler went.
Yeah, I remember that. They said something about that.
So yeah, but otherwise, I think we pretty much covered.
Yeah,
We didn't
everything.
really talk about Will Shipley too much, but I don't know about Vontaze Walker, but I don't know. I think these are guys that aren't like gonna be.
Yeah, Walker, he could get a chance.
Maybe yeah. You don't really have anybody there, so.
This seemed like his thing was, and it was what at the Senior Bowl or whatever, where he dropped passes.
Hmm.
I think that's what hurt his stock a lot. But as far as after the draft, nothing really happened. Like you said, we had the trades. Um, a few players got picked up, dropped. I'm trying to get to the tippy top of it here. At least finish off with that real quick. Yeah, no, that's not it. That's not it. Damn, where the hell is it at? Here we go. Alright, so basically starting off, it was Loeb, Cowing, and then I picked up Pratt, but I dropped him. And we know the reason why I grabbed him. uh,
Right.
Tommy grabbed Tyrod. Willie grabbed Malik Washington. That could be an interesting pickup. I
That
thought
was
about
one
that
I was
one.
thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like as a free agent, but
Mm-hmm.
I was like so like I was like, what are we doing? Is everybody taking people now? Are we taking them now? Like as I was messaging, like five people got taken, and one of them was Washington. I was like,
Yeah,
damn it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. At which when who was it? Someone in the chat asked about it, and I was going to say something, but at that point I was already strategizing. Like I said, but the settings never changed, so it's not like it was an unfair advantage to anybody. No
Yeah.
custom waivers were discussed, no settings were changed and announced as far as that goes. So everyone knew the situation. I
Hmm.
just ended up doing the research on it and found it out that after
Yeah.
the draft, everything is open unless you customize it. So when he asked about it, I didn't say shit. Like, I'm not, because it was right before I think Zach was getting ready to pick, and I'm like, I already had it in my head, like, I'm going in, I'm attacking. And
Uh-huh.
I think I barely even slept. I think I slept like 3 hours getting ready for it. So I was like, nah, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not being nice this time. Like, everyone knows the settings are there for everybody to see. Nothing was changed. So if they
Yeah.
didn't know about it, hey, that's going to be on
I don't
y'all.
think. Yeah, I don't think anybody was pissed about it. I was just like taken aback
Oh
because
yeah,
I was
Tommy
like,
was like,
okay,
"Hey, let's start over. Like, let's
yeah.
reset." Like, no,
I was
bro, come on. Are you
like,
serious? You're
I was
supposed to be the best at waivers, right? You're supposed to be the
right.
best.
Like I was thinking about it too. Like like hey, I guess give everybody a fair shot here. Everybody
But it
get
wasn't
a bid or
discussed
whatever.
beforehand until he just said something almost at the end of the draft, and I was not compromising that at the end of the draft. Sorry, we're not
Uh,
doing it.
yeah.
Like if
So
that was
like I
something
said,
we
that was cool too.
discussed at the beginning and that was something we prepared for, but last minute, no.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't an
Like I said, I
issue
didn't.
until it was brought up, and then I ended up jumping in and grabbing the people before everybody else because they didn't know what they were doing, and then everyone was like like nah. Like if y'all would have said something and were worried about that beforehand, it could have been a thing, but no one was worried about it. No one discussed it. Nothing was brought up. The only thing that they cared about was the rookie draft and leaving it with the rookies, and that's the only thing they spoke about, and the only thing we spoke about, and not
Yeah.
having waivers open before the draft.
Uh-huh. So no, I guess I don't have a problem with it. So I was like okay with it. Plus, I didn't really like Malik Washington was a guy that I probably maybe would have added. Like, but otherwise, like I got everybody I really wanted. Like, I like the fact I got Tyrone Tracy, who is honestly the fact that I think him going undrafted was a drop for him because he
Running back
is
to the Giants, yeah.
he was a wide receiver, so he's gonna be a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a really athletic player, and there's nobody there in behind Devin
Yeah,
Singletary that would even be like considered like
competition.
you know decent as
Yeah.
far like as long as Tracy like does what he's supposed to do, like I can see him
I
taking
mean,
snaps
Deion
off there. And
Jackson, I mean, it's not like Deion's
oh,
garbage.
he's okay. Like I guess like I just gotta see how he is because I mean they took him in like the fifth round, I think.
Yeah,
Like he
I get what
wasn't
you're
no like
saying though.
seventh round dude.
No competition really. Devin Singletary, that's it.
Yeah, like he averaged 6.3 yards a carry at Purdue. Like and he just started going from wide receiver to yeah. It was
He converted.
yeah. So like I said, I like the fact I picked him up. Like I said, I got backs on top of backs right now as far as less like youth in that. So hopefully
Oh, that's a smart one.
that
That he was actually one I was paying attention to a little bit as well because, like you said, situation, not much competition. So if he
yeah
can prove
like I
himself,
like that Puka approach. Like you got I hurt Cooper Cup. Not much competition there. Puka good when he's in there takes over. Like I can see there being any type of injury. Like it's just
and they like Puka.
yeah.
They were talking about that when in the off season and shit.
But
Cage
yeah.
Stover, that's another one that kind of just comes into, but that one's a little bit. That one's kind of another speculation thing. Not really any kind of immediate play, I would say,
Hmm.
because Schultz is still there. Brevin Jordan's still there. It's not like Jordan's a bad tight end. So he
Yeah.
has like, some competition. But from what I've heard, the Texans head coach or GM likes Cade Stover. So that's like kind of like you were saying with the Puka situation. If a GM or coach likes a guy, he could get a little more favorable play and move up a
Yeah.
little bit. But yeah, other than that, not anything else. Just a lot of bullshit. Chase Claypool getting picked up, blah blah blah. Oh, it was hilarious too. I was like, what was it in the draft? I was like, the best remaining wide receiver or best remaining prospect to be drafted, and I put Chase Claypool. And now he goes to Miami, and there's hype around Chase Claypool again.
Right.
Oh man, it's funny how shit happens like that. So easy to turn around. Like he was just nothing like 2 days ago, and now he's like, he's with Miami. There's a chance.
There's a chance. Buffalo. He's Buffalo now. There's a chance.
Yeah, Buffalo. Yeah, same with that. Yeah, that fell off
I
so
think
quick too.
I think he's washed, man. I don't think
I
he's
think
doing
so
much.
as well.
You guys go back to Canada.
Shit, I think DJ Shark with the Chargers, he has a better shot of doing something than Chase Claypool with the Miami Dolphins.
I honestly
Oh,
don't
that's a
know.
good question. Who do you believe in more, CJ Shark
Yeah.
with the Chargers or Chase
Do like
Claypool with the
take a
Miami
poll.
Dolphins?
Who
That's the
has more
hard-nosed questions we're asking here.
Who has more fantasy points this year, DJ Chark or Cliff Saville?
Yo, that's a
I don't
good.
know.
Who do you think? Seriously, we'll put this. This is gonna be a short for YouTube. DJ Shark versus Chase Claypool.
Yeah. Who's gonna be the most mediocre out of the two?
This is where the real questions come in. This is
Yeah.
the deep cuts.
Yeah, we ain't gotta worry about it if Caleb Williams or Jalen Daniels are gonna have more fantasy points. I want to know between Chase Claypool and DJ Chark.
Oh yeah. Seriously, who are you picking? I want to know.
I would probably, based on the situation, man, two good quarterbacks.
Ew, I
I
snorted
would
right there.
say,
Oh my god.
man, I would, I'd say, I think Claypool's the better player.
Ooh.
I think Chark's got the better situations. I'm gonna say Chark.
Okay, Shark. I think so too. I mean, and I don't know if that he's exactly better than Shark because I mean DJ Shark, like we were saying, when he's healthy, he can play. And Chase, it's not like he's been unhealthy, you know?
True.
So it's a little bit, but I agree. DJ Shark. And yeah, that'll wrap it up with that hard hitting question.
Yeah.
If anybody's, I think we might have a stray person or two in here. No, oh no, it says 3 viewers. Hello, 3 viewers. Bye, 3 viewers. We're done for today, but next weekend well, pretty much
I mean,
every weekend we plan on doing something. So,
yeah, I mean, we can maybe talk about the Steelers for a second here if you want. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
screw it.
they basically, I think they killed it. Like, I don't think even a lot of the experts on social media and everything, or this podcast, whatever I listen to,
Mm-hmm.
the Steelers had the best draft
Yeah,
out of it
yeah, it's
on
true.
paper at least. We'll see
Yeah,
what
you know how that goes.
they hit all their marks. They got some great linemen. They got a lot of
Love it.
kids. Good linebacker there, good receiver. So
Dude,
yeah,
I agree. Steelers. Fucking Steelers, man. I am hyped. Even more so than because I know last year, like, they were still like, all right, well, KP, like, he showed flashes, blah, blah, blah. And then they got us where they got us hyped was they were saying that Matt Canada was going to change. Well, now he's just gone. So,
he changed. He ain't there anymore.
yeah, it's a change that we all wanted and we all needed. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of hype just from the start of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. You got two dudes who, at any point, you feel who can be decent for you. And you still have the running game from last year, and now you've only added onto that, like you were saying, with the offensive lineman. They've got Roman Wilson. You was talking about him earlier. You think he's gonna be a stud? I kind of think he's gonna I don't know in if your definition of a stud would be, but like as far as
The dude's gonna be. He's a football player.
yeah,
He's the
yeah,
guy that's gonna block.
he
He's the guy
reminds you
that's
of a
gonna do
Steeler.
whatever. whatever you need to do. He's the next. He's like our. He's gonna be our modern Hines. Like he's not gonna be the flashiest guy. He's not gonna get you the most points in fantasy or anything like that. But I'd put him on my team. I'd leave him there to pop him on a good week and see him, score 20 points here and there.
I
So
could see him like 4 or 5 catches, 50, 60 yards and a touch.
yeah,
And then
say
having
every
some
one.
breakout games where he hits like 7, 8 catches for like 100 yards. I mean, if he's number 2 alongside Pickens, he's gonna get some play.
Especially if he is, yeah. I think values his stock a little bit more, but yeah, like I just remember like seeing like where we would draft like Hines Ward in fantasy, and
Yeah, yeah.
he would be like not the most effective guy as far as like being a top guy like Pickens or even like a Deontay or anything like that, but a guy that would just be like, hey man, I'll pop in my flex spot. I feel good about that.
It's kind of
Like he's like
funny because Larry Fitz kind of reminds me of that, except like he was a star, but he wasn't like the most sexiest like it. I don't know if you ever got that, but it felt like Larry Fitz compared to a lot of the stars was just like he wasn't the sexiest name, even though like he just came out every single year and you just knew like he was gonna be the guy.
uh, I mean, like maybe later in his career, but
Well, that's kind
that
of
dude
what I'm
was.
saying. Like even though in his later in his career he was still a dude, it was just like yeah, I don't know. He felt like for a while, like you were saying towards the end, because he definitely was. It felt
Yeah,
it. All right, moving on.
it's all good. But really, I think the only like fantasy relevant player for us was Roman Wilson for the Steelers. But I think they just like as a team they drafted fantastic.
Yeah, they actually what they got 3 offensive linemen, I think, in this draft.
Hmm.
They drafted that Uwanga or you I can't what the two two Tuafonga or Fung damn what the hell is his name?
I honestly don't want to
Fatanu, Troy
put on.
Fatanu.
Yeah,
That's it. I'm all over here messing up his shit. I apologize. I'm supposed to be a Steeler fan.
how dare you?
Zach Frazier, center, number round 2. I like that one out of West Virginia. And a lot of
Hmm.
them that well we spoke of Wilson. A lot of the people that seem to be hyped up about is Peyton Willis, the linebacker out of NC State, and Mason McCormick, the guard out of South Dakota State.
Hmm.
There's a lot of hype with those 2 guys. Like, yeah, we know about the first guy, the Fatanu, but a lot of hype around the 3rd and 4th round guy and Wilson and McCormick. And I'm hearing a lot of good things about McCormick. He just puts people on their ass.
Right.
Like he's one of those dudes you want in there. Yeah, so I'm really happy about it. I don't know this Logan Lee guy, Ryan Watts. I don't know too much about them. I'll have to take a look, but yeah, like you were saying, even the experts, well, experts, but
The expert.
yeah, they were saying the same thing that the Steelers had one of the better drafts, and I agree. Definitely, I would probably say top 3 drafts out of everybody. I'd probably
Yeah.
throw I'd probably throw the Commanders there since they got Daniels and a few other pieces. I'd probably throw them up there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the teams that draft or drafting sooner are getting some better players, but for the Steelers we're at, I think they just did everything right. So.
Mhm. Yeah, they didn't go super early with the wide receiver like a lot of people thought they were going to. They waited, they got their guy in Roman. And when I say their guy, I kind of that's kind of the truth because before the draft, they were what was it? Mike Tomlin and the Senior Bowl or something like that, where they went and Tomlin told him to do one-on-ones. It was Roman and some other DB or something. He had them going at each other all day or something like that. So Roman Wilson was a dude for the Steelers even before the draft, and yeah, they let it roll and they got him. Didn't have to trade up, give up anything extra.
No.
Sat
I think
there
a lot of
and
people thought he dropped a lot because of how like smaller he was and everything. So
yeah, and
it's
I
good
kind
that
of think that
went to it.
falls on to where they were just like the Michigan offense, like it wasn't super high powered, I guess you'd say. Like just scoring TDs all the time. So maybe that kind of took a little bit of play into it because like you had dudes like Brian Thomas and everybody else who were like putting up mad stats
Yeah.
or making crazy catches or plays. Like you'd hear about Keon Coleman.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I like the pick. I like the, the player he is. So
He's a Steeler. It's a lot of I can't remember who said it the other day, but he was correct in saying it. These dudes, I think it was on the Pat McAfee show actually. But when you like for us, like he was saying for the Steeler fans, and I'm sure for fans of other teams, like they're the same way. When you look at a player and you're like, "Damn, that dude's a Steeler right there," you know. And a lot of those
yeah.
dudes, when you look at them, you're like, "Damn, they're a Steeler." And
Yeah.
yeah, exciting times. Hopefully, it keeps going into the season and they play well, and we actually have a legit chance in the playoffs.
I'm excited
Yeah,
to see what happens.
hell yeah, man! It was a great first rookie. This was our first rookie draft, actually. We waited to the end of the stream to say that, but first
Yeah.
year, first rookie draft. I think it went really well.
Hmm. Everybody got a piece of the pie and everything. I mean, I think a few guys ended up on a
Yeah, I
lot like
think
that.
Aaron and Tommy had like one pick, and that was it. But
Yeah, I
Tommy
think.
traded and got Zach's first, I think, which Zach's team sucks, so he's probably going to be ended up with a top 5 pick next year.
Yeah. So, and then you got
Aaron, he only had a fourth, I think. Yeah.
oh, he grabbed. He thought he ended up picking the wrong guy. He thought he picked Jordan Love. Ended up being like
Yeah.
John Love or something like that.
I
And
thought so. I
and
thought
he's like,
so.
I messed up.
It
I
was
was like,
Josh
I'm
Love from the
gonna
Rams.
Josh Love,
Yeah,
and I
I
was
looked
like,
at
I
it.
don't know. I'll fix that for you. You're good. And then he ended up taking Rico Dowdle. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I let you keep
Okay.
that.
I th- I didn't ask, but I had a suspicion that was the case where because
I was gonna
I seen
message him, be
Jay
like, is
Love
this
and I'm
guy
like he
you?
got removed. I'm like I bet you he thought that was Jordan Love.
Yeah. So, but we fixed it.
That shows how much he was paying attention to the rookie draft.
That was yeah.
Like why
And
would
then
you even think he was in the he just saw Jay Love and was like, "Oh shit."
oh shit.
I don't know how this happened, but
All right. And I think that was like one pick. But he had a first round pick. He took Jonathan. So
What, who?
Nate Nathan. He took over Melissa's
Oh
team.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
So he only
That's
had the
right.
one first round pick, and he took Jonathan Brooks, which I think he's gonna be making an
Yeah.
impact this year as one of the top backs this year. So
Well, I mean, he could have went either way, really. Like, he's totally secure for quarterbacks. He has absolutely no worries for that.
yeah,
But he could have used like another receiver, and then his running backs are a little older. He has Nick Chubb, who's coming off the injury. So, yeah, Jonathan Brooks made a whole lot of sense there. And who knows, he could end up if Nick Chubb comes back healthy, he can move Nick Chubb for something. He can move Stevenson for something. He has the flexibility to move those guys now.
yeah. We'll see. See how he manages this team. Like taking somebody else's team, you only have so much resources to start, like just the one draft pick, like he said. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages the team. He
Well,
got a
he
bunch of
did
picks for next
trade
year. So.
some. He traded. He elected to
Trade Derrick
trade Derrick
Henry.
Henry for a pick, which was that's what I was thinking when he was taking over. I'm like, because he had a lot of assets to move.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a matter like you could definitely get a pick. Like there was no reason why he couldn't. He had the assets to acquire another pick. He just chose to get a pick next year and add it to that instead of this year,
Yeah.
which is smart.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he. Like I said, like that team isn't like a bad team either. Like
No,
Melissa
it's
had
a
a good
good
team
team.
last year. She just ended up with really bad luck as far as
Oh,
who she
probably the
faced.
shittiest luck out of everybody, I'd say.
The worst point, like the worst points against average by far
Oh,
in the
by
entire league.
far. Oh,
She
yeah.
was getting beat badly by dudes who would like have their best week. Like she
Every
was
single
facing dudes that were
time. And
scoring
she'd put up like a
at
160
least.
point herself.
Yeah, it should be on average put like 130, 140. Everybody was putting up
Uh
150,
huh.
160 at least,
Yeah, it
and it
was
was
wild,
just
bro. Wild. Like, honestly, I
super.
never thought that pick I got from her would be the fucking 103. Never. Never,
Yeah,
ever. I totally thought that, like, at best, it'd be like the 108. She'd make it in the playoffs and she'd, like, lose the first, like I did.
yeah.
You know?
So
It's wild. It's how shit
hey,
goes, and it's the exciting and kind of shitty thing about Dynasty, but keeps you on your toes. That's for sure.
absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right,
it was
let's
fun.
wrap this up here. We talked about the Steelers. They're amazing. We love the Steelers. Let's go Steelers.
The Steelers.
Great rookie draft. It's all going great so far. Oh, someone just he picked up Cordell Patterson. Breaking news: Cordell Patterson has been picked up out
Breaking
of
news.
waivers.
You're
But
just relying on kick return touchdowns at that point.
you never know. And
Mm-hmm.
what's his face loves Cordell Patterson. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
damn it, what the fuck, Arthur Smith. But
Yeah,
yeah, we have three view. Oh no, down to one viewer now. They were like, oh, these guys are supposed to be done minutes
these
ago.
guys.
All right, for real though, wrap it up. We plan on doing this every single weekend. The Twitch thing's new. We just started doing that with the draft, so not much content on here yet. And I forgot to set up the saving thing, so it didn't save. Our draft didn't save on well, talking about the NFL draft didn't save on here. But I do have the recording, it's just not on Twitch. And yeah, our YouTube channel is pretty much the same thing. I think what's that? Shame and Glory FF, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check, meow. Yeah, you can close the player. Get out of my way. Yep, at Shame and Glory FF on YouTube's. And that's
YouTubes.
where, yeah, we do have most of our content on. Not a lot, but we have some videos on there. So if y'all want to check that out, we'd love that. Any kind of viewership or love our way, we'd greatly appreciate it. Dan didn't show up today. He's normally with us. He may be with us next weekend. Yeah. Anything to say, Brown?
No, yeah, just if you like what you see, just leave us a like, leave us a follow. Just get involved. If you're on Twitch, you can always leave a comment or comment on YouTube. We'd like to see any improvement or any criticisms. Like, hey, you didn't hear enough F bombs. We can fucking throw F bombs out there at you,
We
bro.
need some more F bombs from Pratt over there. He doesn't swear
Yeah,
enough.
that boy's like you're too much of a good boy, I guess. So,
Even at like drop it
but
like every other sentence. At least I
yeah,
try not to on
like I
here.
said, we do this for fun, so like we appreciate any support. So hope you're having fun with us.
Yeah, it's a great time. And the dynasty stuff, talking about it, just talking about football in general, it's a good time.
Absolutely. I enjoy these every week.
Hell yeah. All right. So, anybody who watches this, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.